Hola, soy Señora O'Donnell. Enseño español aquí in Parkland High School. I'm Señora O'Donnell. I teach Spanish here at Parkland High School, and I'm also the World Language Department chairperson. And I am very excited for World Language Week because it's been a tradition here at the high school for 10 years. And we like to celebrate all the languages that we have in the school district, as well as language study, our diversity, our heritage, just learning about different cultures of the world. And so I'm very excited for our 10th year of World Language Week. I chose to teach Spanish because at first I wanted to teach English actually. And when I started learning another language, I thought this is really interesting. It still has the grammar and the literature, but it opens me up to communicating with so many more people in the world. And it feels like I'd be more than one person when I learn a different language. And so once I started learning Spanish, I loved it, and that's why I decided to continue. And I lived in Spain, and I've traveled to a few different countries, and I just love teaching. I love my job. So.
Je m'appelle Madame Boudard, je suis prof de français ici au lycée Parkland et j'enseigne les niveaux 3 et 4. I teach French because it's a subject that I really love and I was passionate about from the time that I was in middle school. And it was just one of those subjects that really came easily for me, and the more I learned about it, the more I was intrigued, and so I just kept going.
Hallo, ich heiße Frau Sebo und ich unterrichte Deutsch. So when I was young, my grandmother used to teach me little bits, little words and phrases that she had learned when she was younger because her grandparents came from Germany, and I thought it was super cool that she spoke another language, and I couldn't wait to learn it myself. And I just loved learning the language and learning about the culture and going to visit Germany and see new sites, and I just have I'm really excited about the language and the culture, and I just couldn't wait to pass it on to others.
Salut, je m'appelle Gina and I take French. I just think it's a really pretty language, and it has really cool slang. Like, they have this one form of slang where you split the word in half and then like move the syllables, and I just think it's so cool. And I'm also just like really into like analyzing the differences between all the regions, like France and Belgium and like Canada, and just like all the differences in the language. It's just really interesting to me.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I take sign language. So I like sign language because I felt like it's different than any of the normal languages. I felt like it brings out a different community rather than like Spanish or German or French. I feel like you could reach out to more people at the school, especially.
Hola, me llamo Laura Valeria Quintanilla and I take Spanish and French. I like Spanish just because I grew up around it my whole life, and then when I moved here when I was 7, I had to learn it at home, and it's just a really awesome language, and it's good to have to be able to communicate with people around you.
Ich heiße Elna und ich spreche Deutsch.
My favorite word in Spanish is probably trabajaba. Trabajaba. Because it means like I used to work or she used to work, and I just like it because it rhymes.
My favorite French word is squirrel, which in French is écureuil. And the reason that I like that word is because it embodies all of the French pronunciation.
I think one of my favorite words is Schmetterling, which means butterfly. It's fun to say.
Whenever I learn a new word or a phrase, that becomes my new favorite thing to say for like a week. So right now it's this expression that I learned called être sur son 31, which literally means to be on your 31, but it's like figuratively means to get dressed up, which I thought is kind of cool. I heard it in a song and now I can't stop saying it.
My favorite word in Spanish is toronja, because it means grapefruit, but it's such a funky word, so I really like it.
So my favorite word is probably bacon or turtle. Obviously because of the way it looks, and I mean, some of the signs are pretty goofy, but I feel like bacon is my personal favorite. And also just the way the word bacon sounds too.
My favorite word is probably blöde Kuh, and it's actually kind of an insult, but when you want to call someone dumb, the direct translation of that is you're calling them a dumb cow, which I think is really funny.
Oh, Spanish is meaningful to me because I think it's such a beautiful language. I'm able to communicate with a lot of people here in the United States, as well as travel to 21 different countries and be able to communicate in Spanish. It's a language that I have pretty much, after living in a different country, it's kind of part of my soul because when I hear people speaking the language of where I lived, it makes me feel more comforted and reminds me of the happy times of speaking that language.
French is meaningful to me. It's not because I'm French, because I'm not at all. But I love the language, I love the culture. I was fortunate enough to live in France for a year, and then having had that experience really catapulted me into wanting to continue to teach others and hopefully cultivate a love for French in them also.
For me, German is really meaningful because I have that connection to my grandmother and her grandparents who I never got to meet. So for me, I have a family connection to it, and from so much time studying it, I learned it in high school, I studied it in college, I spent a semester in Germany. So for me, it's just really become a really big part of my life.
So I thought it would be cool to be in a group with everybody who shares the same passion for French that I do. And I was getting good grades in French, so I was like, well, why not apply? And I got in, and now I'm vice president, so that's cool.
I chose to be a part of the National Spanish Honor Society just because we can do so much with the language, and we were able to actually donate a llama and raise funds. Yeah, a llama for Bolivia, and we were able to raise funds for Hispanic Association, and we have done a lot to help Spanish-speaking countries, so it has been a great experience.
I'd say the people who have influenced me learning a second language the most were actually my teachers here at Parkland. So I'm a Parkland alumni, and they just fostered my love for learning Spanish and encouraged me to travel. And I had such great teachers that I wanted to become one of them and be part of the team. And right now we have a tremendous department of all different languages, of 5 levels of different languages, and even going to AP French, AP German, AP Spanish, 4 years of Latin, 4 years of sign language. And so my teachers really influenced me, and then also the family that I lived with in Spain, they really helped me to learn the language because they didn't know any English. So those people and my college friends that were also in the same program in Spain also influenced my language learning. But the teachers really gave me that push initially.
So influential people, teachers obviously. So I had a teacher in high school, her name was Madame Osmers, and she was just an awesome teacher and really gave me the confidence to want to continue to learn the language. And then beyond that, really just in college, different courses that I took, but mainly living abroad. I learned more there in an exchange program situation than I ever did in school. So I would highly recommend that all students, no matter where you have the opportunity to study, take advantage of that if you're able.
So when I got my master's degree, I had a really tough professor. She was from Germany, and she just was really particular about everything, and she really pushed me. And so although it was a lot of hard work, I really appreciated her pushing me. It really my language skills, my writing skills, everything just skyrocketed. So although in the moment of taking those classes with her, it was really challenging and sometimes exhausting and frustrating, it really helped my language skills a lot. And so I know that I owe a lot to her.
It definitely, I feel like, has made me a more interesting person, because whenever someone asks for like, what's a fun fact about you, I can always say I'm bilingual and I speak fluent German, which I think is pretty cool. And just being able to travel and then understand when people speak German, I think is pretty cool.
So with some effects it's had, I'm now able to teach little kids in EWLE how to sign language. So I would have some customers that are hard of hearing or deaf. So it would be easier for them to communicate through sign language rather than me writing everything down or another worker writing everything down. And I feel like it's easier to reach out to more of the deaf community rather than having to write it down or having it to show.
I have been able to communicate with a lot more people than I could have if I just learned one language. Since I also speak French, I am able to communicate and understand a lot of different languages. So being able to do that, I'm able to communicate with people at my work who speak Spanish, who don't necessarily speak fully English, so they can communicate with me in Spanish. And I'm able to know a lot more people by knowing this language.
So I met a lot of really cool native French speakers online, thanks to everything that I've learned over the years. And I've also been introduced to the wonderful world of French music, which is really good. You guys should totally check it out.
During World Language Week, it's kind of like, you're celebrating humanity through language. And I look forward to this every year because all of the students are able to get involved. We have quite the calendar of activities. So anybody can participate. We're making salsa after school in the FCS rooms. We're doing Zumba. We're doing virtual recipe making. We're doing door panels in different classes. So I just love the whole school coming together and being able to participate and, opening the door sometimes to talk about your own heritage and be proud of where you come from around the world. So there's just there's a lot going on that week, but I'm always so happy, and the students always seem to have a great time with it. So I'm looking forward to everybody being back here and being able to do these things again, and mostly looking forward to the students having a fun time.
World Language Week is fun because we get to do activities outside of the regular school day, and we get to do activities like cooking and watching videos and doing things that we might, participating in the door decorating contest, things like that. And we get to do some cultural activities that the normal 45-minute class period does not allow for. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I really enjoy World Language Week because it's a lot of fun. We get to do activities that we don't normally get to do. We get to look at the benefits of learning another language and learning about other cultures. And it's a great time for students and for teachers who have those personal connections to be able to bring them into school and bring them to light. And so I think that's a really great thing. And it's a lot of fun doing the activities, doing the after-school activities and cultural things. So I'm really looking forward to all of that.